Another week of weekly video updates with Osakimi. Just another boring price action that we've really had since July or in late June even. So I thank you for tuning in. We have a little bit of things to discuss as far as what has happened over the weekend. A lot of people are interpreting this as a substantial move. I'm not quite convinced, but I've been hopeful this whole time anyway, so maybe that's why. So again, thanks for tuning in. I've been trying to get these videos shorter and shorter and more concise because I know I ramble a lot. So I'm hoping that this video is much shorter than it has been in the past while retaining all of the information that is valuable to you. So we're going to cover Bitcoin again today. And as usual, like why would we not, right? Bitcoin on the USD pair, Ethereum. We're going to cover the Ethereum Bitcoin pair right here, and then we are also going to cover the total market cap. And if you've liked me kind of rambling and having detailed videos, I am planning to make a longer video, maybe on Wednesdays, maybe Tuesday, Wednesdays. I'm not really sure yet. It might be a couple weeks before I do that, but it'll be more of a casual setting, so that way you can kind of come and go as you please, and it would be something, much longer, more detailed, just show, a lot of my chicken scratch, so to speak. So look forward to that, and if that's not your flow, then that's okay too. So I always like looking at the total market cap first, so we'll do this, writing this all out so you guys know where I'm searching, what I'm doing. Just type in total, and it's right here. This is something that I've already marked out before, and if this looks very similar, this is, much like the Bitcoin one, got pretty much the same pattern. Let's go to a different one. Let's go to BX, since I don't use this chart too much. So yeah, you got the same pattern. I had a drop down, consolidation, drop down, consolidation, ranged up, and then now we have another consolidation, tightening, whatever you want to call that. And there's a lot of reasons for why people think we're going to go down, because, well, it hasn't made anything higher, right? So that's the logical conclusion to go down. A lot of people say, well, it hasn't gone down yet, so it must be going up first. And that's why people got excited yesterday over a 4% move, which in a bull market we wouldn't really care, right? But we're hungry right now, so that's the reasoning. But this looks very similar to the total market cap, and the Ethereum doesn't. This looks similar as far as structure. It's much more textbook, but it's not similar as far as the levels. So, and if we look really quick at something like Sol, for example, we had a low come in, so that doesn't look very similar. That looks kind of similar to AVAX, but some of these don't, like Atom doesn't. And the reason I say that is you go back to the total, and it looks similar to Bitcoin Ethereum. And what that is telling me is that more people are interested in Bitcoin and Ethereum. And that makes sense to me logically as well. The market dominance for Bitcoin is very high. It's always been the number one in the crypto market since its creation, right? And Ethereum also makes sense too, because of all the merge price action that we had, as to why those two are more prominent, and they're prominent to everyone, right? Like, you're not, in market conditions like this, you're not going to dabble in some random coin, right? So that's the reason. Had dip down, same thing. Consolidation, drop, consolidation, range up, retest, consolidation, tightening. So there's good valid points for why a lot of people think this will go up, and a lot of people will think this will go down. These levels I've marked here are proponents of a higher price action. So it's the top of this range and the bottom of this one. So that's why that's marked out as well. And like I've said before, I don't trade the total market cap. I don't think you should. There's not even a way to do that. but I wouldn't gauge my my actual profit trading. If I want to trade Bitcoin, I would look at this, which we are doing, but I'd also go to Bitcoin, right? So as a total market structure behavior, I want to see this go above the blue, and I will get out substantially if we go below this. And I've told people in my private Telegram, and I've told them some of my positions in that, and I won't tell them on the video here. I only share them in my semi-private Telegram. You can get it on my pinned tweet on Twitter, and you can look at what I've said there, and I've said that this morning or Monday if you're watching this later on. So that's kind of where we're at. I mean, it's today we had a 3-day move up. We kind of retraced this, almost an engulfing candle, but it's kind of retraced. I think that's hopeful for the rest of the day. I'm not confident that we get a low or too low, like lower, like an engulfing. I think we hold today, and if we do hold today and tomorrow, and even to Wednesday, if we range in this little mini range for 2 or 3 days, that's a good sign for bulls. And I know a lot of people are hungry for that. So let's go to the Bitcoin chart. As you can see, we're a little bit under today, but not substantially. So let's go to the weekly. So I marked this. Let me get rid of this noise for the moment. So ignore these green levels for now. I'll add them later. So I marked this out, and I think this was the line chart. Yes. So I marked this out on a tweet a couple days ago, I think Saturday, that we were about ready to push here. And the thing is like when we meet up to something like this, we drop down hard. Historically, when we have some kind of wedge or trend line action in a bear market, it drops very violently, right? So so far we have not. And to me, that's a good sign as far as we may not get new lows in immediate term. I think I already hold the position for numerous reasons, but this tells me we have already seen the bottom, and I don't really hold and prescribe to that, like, oh, it's the bottom. Like, I don't care or try to predict the bottom. But the probability of that already happening is pretty high, especially considering that we've had a series of lows here. The price action on the line chart has gone down. I know price action line chart, that's kind of oxymoron, but we've had kind of a down pattern, so to speak, there. And we've had an up pattern here on the RSI. And that's a massive, that could be a divergence. Let me see here. Not quite on the 3-week. And I'd have to look at this a little more. If we do, it's kind of weak. But on the 1 week, you definitely, it doesn't count as a classical textbook divergence. But we do see a momentum change in that. And this break was kind of part of that deal, right? So that's what I see. That's a good sign overall. Honestly, like a less than 2% move down so far is not that big of a deal. But you never know. I'm not saying the bottom's in. I'm not saying, we just analyze this and we look at scenarios, right? And we play those scenarios out. So as far as the week, kind of hate how these zoom in. Did a bullish engulfing here. Had a nice wick to go above. Got the very healthy bullish consolidation, very wide. Aroon doesn't really like go parallel like to the ground trend, but this is pretty substantial. It's pretty wide. It's probably even more so than this because it's higher up. It started. So I go on this top here. Started at like the 40, 45, 44. So that's good. So the bulls may have, if I translate that, about 7 weeks of opportunity And that's going to lead us up right into the holiday season. So this is there's a lot of potential hope here. I don't think it's wise to look for shorts here. It doesn't make sense. The reward is not there, especially, like I've said this plenty of times, if we get to like this area and below, then I think shorts are they're in a good position to start adding up and being worth your time. Until then, the best opportunity right now is long, and they may not happen. That's okay. This is where the scenarios play out. But we did break below this so far, but it's only Monday. This candle doesn't count just yet. It looks pretty good. Same thing on here. Broke through the trend, broke above. We kind of retested. That could be a breaker depending on how you view that. I don't. It's a little too close to call. And the reason I say that is because sometimes the USD charts are different than the USDT charts. So if they're too close to call, I usually just forgo that element, right? So broke down below today so far, doing okay. If we hold this, I think we're in okay shape. For bulls, you want to see a break of this. So you probably, you would probably want your entry above here somewhere. And let's say if we did go up here, you would probably want your stop somewhere in this range right here, because we just retested, right? So why would we go back again? So it would make sense for entry here, stop here-ish. And this isn't advice or anything. I wouldn't necessarily trade this. There's more that goes into it. I'm just kind of speculative on this. And you've had the supply taps here and here. And so I'd probably put a marker here because, one, you got the resistance here. You had the retest overthrow breaker here. So it would make sense that it would eventually go up here. So this is a decent position-ish. If you're bullish, I would wait for this and see how that plays out. Again, go through your specs, do your routine. Don't just do this, because I haven't looked at this. This is just on the fly, kind of chicken scratch. So anyway, that's if you're looking for a long. If you're a bull, I would definitely wait for this area to clear. If you are short, I would definitely wait for this area here in the red. If it gets to the red, I think that's a good position to start adding maybe a short, at least in the short term. So that's my positioning on that. And I'll go to let's go to Ethereum. Weekly. All right, don't know what that was. So same situation here. Bullish engulfing candle. We had a bearish cross on the Aroon, but we also had a push higher. So that's a little complicated. And the reason part of that is because we had a bearish wedge here, but this actually went bullish. So we kind of have a divergence here. And what that tells me is this might get a little more chopped up than I originally anticipated. So we might spend some time. We might spend a lot more time in this area than I think. And if you are a long-term trader, if you only look at charts once a month, your biggest play right now would be to long this area and short this area. And I wouldn't even short, honestly, until we get to like this area. So I never short when we have candles and wicks combined. I would wait until we at least get to the bottom of the demand zone. So, but this is a major area here. I think we're going to spend more time here than I think. The good news is if we fail to make any new lows, so if this holds for about 2 more weeks, we're going to go into a bullish consolidation, which means that the price may do something like this. And that's a good thing. If we do make a new low, I think we start going like this. So if you're a bull, You don't want that new low to happen, because then we're going to have we're going to have a lower bound range for probably the rest of the year. If we hold, we're probably going to stay. Honestly, I think we'll stay in this range for the rest of the year anyway. Unfortunately, there's a good chance. For numerous reasons too. We got this kind of support area coming this way here. We just got a lot to come through, like here and here and here. So this is the big battleground. And I did not add to my position on this one. But same scenario here. Had a push up, had an overthrow breaker here. You also got the retest coming here, which we've already made. And I'm going to have an order breaker video coming out soon, possibly even today. So just if you're wondering what these breaker impulses are that I'm talking about, stay tuned, subscribe, whatever, and you can go there. On the daily, we have a confirmation of the bearish Aroon consolidation. So this kind of runs in favor of this weekly scenario being bearish as well. So that's something, bulls want to stay above the 1300 range, and we definitely want to stay above this 1280 here. We don't want to go back. Let's see here. Probably here. We probably don't want to go below 1250 again. That's not going to look as good. But we do have the major retest, and I've said this for a few weeks now. Got a good consolidation on this green retest from there. That's a solid textbook move. A lot of people ignored that, and I don't know why, because that's clear as day. Like when you first start learning how to trade, like that's what they tell you. So I'm not sure why a lot of people ignored that. Anyway, let's go to ETHBTC. This will be the last chart that we cover. Just this whole thing has really been a mess, and part of that's the merge, part of that's the economy thing, and all that going on, right? So last week we had a good bullish move up. Again, another breaker move. So that might retest down. That's also confirming with the bearish consolidation. So this might kind of go up here. I'm thinking this might retest this red area here. And then, I deleted that. And then we might, go down here as much as here. And so I think these areas, that's the range I'm looking at now. It's a very wide range, but, we're in a complicated part of the market, right? And what's interesting is we actually retested here. Probably should get rid of this one. So we went below and we went up, so that's really a good sign. So I don't think we'll get below this unless we retest down here. That's a possibility as well. So, but this price action is very, very, very messy. Holding below the RSI on here. Not a lot to say here as far as like high time frame trading or just analysis, honestly. What I typically look at this for is like, let's say like 3-week chart, right? Like if this turns blue, that means Ethereum is stronger than Bitcoin, right? So I would have probably, I've got 3 separate cash stashes or portfolio stashes. I got Bitcoin, I got Ethereum, and I got kind of a flex bag, and that flex bag flips between Ethereum and Bitcoin depending on which one's stronger. And the reason I do that is because I want more Bitcoin value. So I would have had, Bitcoin here, or Ethereum here, Bitcoin here, Ethereum here. So if you did that, let's say you bought at the end of, let's say you just bought at the top of this candle, right? And you would have had 58% stack. So your Bitcoin value would have went up by 60%, right? So let's just say 55. So that's good, right? So that's how I view Ethereum Bitcoin charts. You may view it differently. I have Kraken on here for a reason. They let you trade that in that pairing, and some other exchanges do as well. and on leverage too. But that's kind of how I view that. For the daily, good upswing here, retested here, kind of the same thing, but this lack of down move for this day means this makes me think that Ethereum is a little bit stronger despite the fact that it's going down more. So that's okay. Like I think it's still to be determined. I don't, as far as like which asset is stronger. I think it's okay to be in both if you are having exposure. Um, but as far as like major moves in the market cycle, it's still too early to tell. So that's kind of my analysis on all four of these. Stay tuned for an order block video in the near future, possibly today. And then look, if you want me to do some more analysis, a little more casual too, I may do that here within a week or two, possibly even this week. But look forward to that as well. And follow me, subscribe. I'll let you know about that. And have a good week.